Kennedy Carter is making headlines in the WNBA again, and unfortunately, it's not for something positive. She's back to her old tricks, using aggressive tactics on the court to intimidate opponents and gain a competitive edge. But what happens when you try to bully Caitlin Clark? Can rough play really instill fear and control the game? Today, we dive into the heated moments on the court that had everyone talking. Carter's controversial behavior is stirring up quite the buzz. Stick around to see how Caitlin Clark responded and why Carter might regret her actions. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more WNBA drama and insights. She didn't handle getting beat on defense well. Sometimes, you might accidentally hit your opponent when going for a block, but this didn't seem like an accident. She was clear, ready to do whatever it took to stop the player she was guarding, even if it meant playing rough. Why mention this? Just a couple of weeks ago, something similar happened. She hit fan-favorite Fever rookie Caitlin Clark unnecessarily. The ball had already gone through the net and wasn't even inbounded yet. This move caused a big stir in the WNBA community. Why target a player who always plays clean, keeps her hands to herself, and just wants to enjoy the game and help her team win? Maybe it's jealousy over the attention Clark gets. If you want the spotlight, the easiest way is to pick a fight with her. What was really surprising was Angel Reese clapping on the bench for her teammates' unnecessary roughness. I guess there's no love lost between them as competitors. One thing's clear, the refs need to step up and protect Clark better. Reese pushed her in the back and the refs missed it again. Still, Clark handled the rough play like a champ. She stayed focused on winning despite the beatings. And guess what? The Fever pulled off a win, 71-70. Let's dive into where all this tension comes from. Clark and Kennedy have very different backgrounds, and you can see the cultural gap. Clark hails from Iowa, while Kennedy is from Texas. They both stayed local for college, with Clark at Iowa and Kennedy at Texas A&M. But here's a key difference. Clark had the spotlight on her right from the start, while Carter had to grind harder to get noticed. Clark is getting all this heat for a big reason too. She's the #1 draft pick and possibly the most hyped WNBA player in the last 20 years. The buzz she's brought to the league is huge, so naturally, other players want to challenge her and prove themselves. It's not bad, it's just the competitive spirit of sports and the nature of basketball. We've discussed how Clark is one of the WNBA's most hyped prospects, but let's not forget Carter. She wasn't just any player. Though they never faced off in college, Carter had a stellar career at Texas A&M. Over 3 years, she averaged 22 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds per game. Drafted 4th by the Atlanta Dream, Carter's journey wasn't straightforward. Unlike Clark, she had to prove herself overseas, playing in Turkey, China, and Poland. After 2 years away from the WNBA, she returned stronger. Interestingly, while in China, she was involved in an incident that required the police to step in. But to clarify, Carter wasn't the instigator. She was defending her teammate. She didn't face any punishment for it, and rightfully so. On the other hand, many analysts see Clark as the future of the league. Some even say she could become the greatest player in WNBA history. This isn't surprising, given her legendary college career. She holds numerous records: NCAA Division I all-time scoring leader, NCAA Women's all-time scoring leader, and NCAA Women's three-point attempts leader, to name a few. She also leads the NCAA Women's offensive plus-minus and points produced per game. In Iowa, she's the all-time leading scorer and assists leader. In the Big Ten, she holds the all-time assist record. She made the most three-pointers in a single season, regardless of gender. She's the first player in Women's Division I history to score at least 1,000 points in 2 different seasons, and the first in NCAA tournament history to have a 30 or 40-point triple-double. She also had consecutive 40-point games in the NCAA tournament and became the first Division I player to record at least 900 points and 300 assists in a single season. When facing a player with such accolades, it's natural to feel some hate and want to prove you're better. However, Carter's push on Clark backfired, making her even more focused. In their next game, despite 2 weeks passing, Clark hadn't forgotten Reese and Carter's rough play. They didn't settle it with fights, but on the scoreboard, where Clark led her team to victory. It didn't take long for Clark to make her presence felt. Right from the start, she scored the first bucket for the Sky. It came from a pick-and-roll play. Mitchell, the other guard, set a quick brush screen and then popped out to the three-point line. This momentary confusion in the defense was all Clark needed. She drove to the paint and nailed a floater off the glass. Her next basket set the tone for the entire game and hinted at the future of the Chicago Sky. With the ball at center court, her teammate Boston set a screen just below the logo. If you're defending Clark on a screen and roll, you never go under the screen, no matter how high it is. The big defender also has to step up to prevent an easy shot. But in this play, the defending big was in a deep drop and on the wrong side of where Clark went. When the guard got hit with the screen, she was out of the play completely. That's not how you defend Clark and Boston's pick and roll. Clark showcased why, swishing a deep three from a few steps behind the three-point line. To add to the damage, Clark followed her great offense with stellar defense. Guarding Allen one-on-one, she stayed perfectly in sync with her movements. Despite Allen's impressive direction changes, she couldn't get past Clark. When Allen finally drove to the rim, Clark got a hand on the ball, stripping it and sending it out of bounds off Allen. Clark was locked in on both ends tonight. Then, she used another hesitation move to drive to the basket, starting the game 3 for 3 with 7 quick points in the first 5 minutes. Carter wasn't quiet either. She got herself going with 2 buckets. The first came from a slick backdoor give and go, finishing with a behind-the-back stop-and-pop jumper. The second was an isolation play, crossing over her defender and floating it in for 2 points. She was determined to challenge the Fever at every opportunity. However, she picked up 3 fouls, forcing her to sit out for part of the first half. Meanwhile, Clark kept pushing, scoring a patient layup under the basket after driving and looking for the best option. The Fever ended the half with a 4-point lead and headed into the second half with momentum. In the second half, Carter came out strong, not literally swinging, but scoring some impressive baskets for the Sky. One standout play was a smooth runner with Clark guarding her. Clark went under the screen, giving Carter a running start and a clear path for her signature shot. She then attacked in transition, finishing with an overhand layup that put Chicago up by 1, 52-51. She even blew past Mitchell, one of the Fever's top defenders, for a nifty inside hand scoop layup. Carter was clearly determined to make her mark in this game, but Clark wasn't having it. She responded with a step-back three-pointer and a layup, then shifted into her playmaking mode, involving her teammates. The game remained tight, with the Fever holding a 2-point lead heading into the final quarter. Despite the Sky and Carter's huge effort, Carter likely regrets pushing Clark in the previous game, as Clark thrives under pressure. She proves once again why there's so much hype around her. Always patient and poised, she makes clutch plays when her team needs them most. With 3 minutes left, she turns the corner after a handoff and sinks what might be the biggest shot of the game, showcasing her confidence in high-pressure moments. She also delivers a perfect pass to Boston, which scores with 1 minute remaining, putting the Fever up by 5. The Sky couldn't recover from this lead and ended up losing the game 83-91. The Sky lost their second straight game to the Fever, and this defeat was particularly bitter. Clark was the key factor, scoring a game-high 23 points, along with 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. This made her the only rookie in WNBA history to achieve such a stat line. Despite the loss, Carter performed well too. Unfortunately, her push in the previous game cast a negative shadow over her efforts. Still, she proved that Angel Reese isn't the only star on the team by putting up impressive numbers. If these teams stay intact, we could be witnessing the start of a long-lasting rivalry. The Fever trio of Clark, Boston, and Mitchell, and the Sky trio of Reese, Cardew, and Carter could lead to some exciting matchups. This rivalry, fueled by Clark and Reese's college competition, has the potential to grow even more intense. Time will tell if it will continue, but it's off to a thrilling start for now. Thanks for watching. What did you think of their rivalry? Do you see it heating up even more in future games? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest WNBA drama and updates.